Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I'm gonna address what's been played out in Jamaica yesterday. And believe me, before I say all of that, I want to thank everyone who pushed out the effort to find that beautiful young lady. And I want to thank Kevin to see that young lady and run at her rescue. Good young man, young farmer, and I'm gonna put his video up and make everybody see who him is. And I'm glad she back with her family. I don't know if she molested or not, but you see, I am on top of everything. I'm at work, you guys can see it. I'm patrolling, and like I said, we're gonna do everything we can do to protect our children. Not only Jamaica, everywhere. And like I said, I feel a little bit better. So, but on the other hand, I'm gonna play a clip with the commissioner, and I want you guys to listen to the commissioner very keenly. The commissioner pretty much, he didn't say, but the reporter asked him, how many police officer was involved? He didn't answer, but the answer I'm trying to give is more than one police officer was there. And my source is more than one. And this is my thing. 150 people supposed to go at the ceremony last night. 150. To do whatever culprit, witchcraft, whatever they do. And these young boys, as far as me here, were in the pastor Patrick for that church, him been having two young boys who live with him. Allegedly, I heard they're young, but these young boys gonna deny everything. So we don't know what's gonna happen. And the commissioner pretty much tell us everything. And I don't know why Arius Chang is there. It look like he just wake up, because him been sleeping for the last 1 month. And I don't know why him wake up. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I never knew in my entire life, first time I ever hear something like this happen in my country. And believe me, I never knew until I speak to a female politician not even 2 hours ago. And she said, you're surprised with a lot of things been going on in Jamaica.
Okay, so behind us is the scene of it's Pathways International Church, where we had an incident last night. A congregant here, a member of this church, who had been injured apparently when she chose to disobey some instructions given to her by the leaders of this organization, reported to the police that she had been injured, and other information that led us to believe that the persons here were at risk. We're aware that 144 congregants had been told to come here, to meet here. And on responding to that report from the person who was injured and coming here, the first teams of police that arrived were shot at, and so they waited on reinforcements to come. We were very concerned that some form of ritualized killing was going to take place here, and so we did an entry last night. We found that there were a couple of people who had been injured by other members of the church, and we secured the premises, held the people. I think there were about some 14 children, was it? 14 children there, and we have 31 women now, so we see that as a rescue of these children based on what we saw when we came in, that there are cult-like behaviors and cult-like a setup that we have seen here. Now, obviously, further investigations is going to reveal everything. We have a number of people that we're taking statements from, and we have had the scene of the crime people come and process the scene, and we will be updating as we go along. Three people are dead. How many do we have in hospital? Right, and 3 persons hospitalized.
I understand that the scene here was almost like a gay scene. In other words, the colors were from the rainbow colors being used. I also understand that the pastor lived with 3 young men. Does the police have any information on whether or not he was grooming young men?
We don't have information on that at the moment, but we are following every lead in this investigation. As I say, early days yet, and we are, that is one of the threads we'll follow. We'll see where it leads us.
About the policewoman who was found, it is alleged that she participated in the shooting as well.
Well, we are also, we don't know that for certain, but there was a police woman here, and we are processing that as well.
Do you have any knowledge of any other members of the security forces that's a member of this congregation?
We're aware of a couple other people who may be a member of the congregation based on what we're seeing inside and so on. And of course, more information is coming in because of what happened last night.
What is to happen to the children who were found here?
Well, the courts actually are sitting, the courts open today at actually 10 o'clock. We have the CPFSA there and the other services, child services and so on, to determine what should happen with those children and perhaps some of the other vulnerable people in the group. So the courts are actually came, and so this has been an effort of many, not just the police, but clearly, the courts are responding, the CPFSA, child services, all of the other entities are responding as well.
Are you concerned about cultist organizations that are springing up all over Jamaica?
Well, I don't know if they're springing up all over, but I am concerned about anything like this. Hopefully it was not the start of a wave of it. I don't see any sign of that. But of course it's a cause of concern.
Was the police radar on this church at all at any given time? Any intelligence that would have led you to believe that they were trying out anything similar to what we saw? They have been on the radar, but not necessarily specifically about what is happening, what happened yesterday. But we got, as soon as it came to our attention, we responded based on what we saw. And I think it was very good, and it's really kudos to Senior Superintendent Ellis and his team, that they took it seriously and moved in the way they did to get this matter resolved. Otherwise, we could have perhaps had more persons killed. Maybe Dr. Chan.
Well, just one question. Will anything be done to prevent this from happening again? Will you allow them to continue operating?
Well, remember, the police don't allow or disallow people from carrying out religious activities unless it becomes a crime. We have very little or no real authority to stop anybody from carrying out a religious practice till they start to break the law. But like any anything that we consider a threat, that be a threat to people, a threat to the law, a threat to that. Our intelligence people will gather intelligence and monitor those entities.
3 people or 2, I understand, died as a result of stabbing. Is there nothing on our books that would allow, for instance, the government to close this place down, owing to what was carried out here?
No. After this event, yes, we can. I think we can. But prior to that, it's a question of how you intervene. It's a whole question of the right to assemble, to gather, and to practice religion is raised, and it's something we'll have to look at. But from my understanding of the current legislation and the Constitution, it was difficult to do anything to stop the events happening. I said there's some good thought in that one lady, I expect seeing the trauma of the event that she was witnessing broke her the cycle of what I call in trance, and she came out and reported what had happened. But the reality is a number of these things happen. There is are maybe happening, but the police can do very little until something happens. I think this is one of the factors behind that. Police only act when they're criminals, and after criminality takes place. For children, you have the Child Services Division, and they are active now in seeking to rehabilitate these kids. But that's the reality of our legislation. We have a very strong constitution dealing with the rights of individuals. Aspects of it should allow you to place more responsibility on the individual being held accountable, but we don't have, I think we have not used that or interpreted that aspect of the Constitution very often in the judiciary, what they call the lateral responsibility of individuals. We may have to look at what legislation exists and if it's necessary.
Particularly for the parents as well?
Well, just what general individual responsibility, because as I said, especially as it relates to children and their accountability of parents.